wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, and I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy.
What is good with it, wealthy, beautiful people? It is your boy David Bellard, one half of the Black Wealth Renaissance crew. Y'all know what we here to do, man. I'm here with my brother from another, Jalen. What's good with you?
What up, what up, what up? How you doing, my dog, man? I'm great. I'm blacktastic. I'm blessed. I'm here, man. I'm enjoying life. I'm embracing life. Doing great. How about you?
Man, I'm doing well myself, brother. I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying, checking in with you, just locking in, focusing. It's a very, very turbulent time. And I think like right now, what you focus on is very important. So that's one of the things that I've really been locking in on, is like honing my attention. What am I giving my attention to? Because with all the noise and distractions and a lot of the things that are going on right now, it's understandable that you can get easily distracted or get caught up in worry and things. But through all the storms, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and if you focusing on finding the light instead of the darkness that's around you, you will eventually find that breakthrough. And that's what I've been trying to lock in on, man. That's what my mind being.
That's a good bar. And the thing that you said, attention, it made me think attention is currency, bro. So whatever you're
Facts.
focusing on your attention on, that's what you're giving your time to. That's what you're giving your currency to, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
man. I've
glad
been
you
trying to
said
look
that.
at Les Booties on Instagram.
Yeah, man, I gotta
Man,
recalibrate my timeline.
man,
There
my
was a one
algorithm,
point in life where my algorithm was really dialed in, bro. Like
bro. I'm
my
telling you,
algorithm
bro.
was pristine, wholesome,
Bro, all I
giving
was
me.
getting was high quality content.
And when we say high quality content, I'm talking about just it wasn't bullshit. I was
Like, yeah,
getting
no, like
stuff of
high level
substance.
conversations.
Yes, stuff of
Exactly.
substance.
Substantial stuff that
Yes.
was actually in tune with, again, the the thing that you should be focused on, not the distractions, not the
hmm
noise, the actual things that are worthwhile. That
hmm
stuff would just come to us, right?
hmm
Whereas it's like, nah, damn, like, bro. I think I was one day I looked at my explore page. I'm like, damn, nigga, you need to
Ass,
chill,
ass,
bro.
ass, ass.
I'm like ass, titties, titties, ass, titties, titties, ass.
Bro.
I'm like,
You gotta
bikini picture.
stop, man. You
I'm
gotta
like,
stop
yo,
liking
relax, bro.
that.
The crazy, I don't even like them like that, bro. I think it's just the touch, look, and swipe.
So
The fact that you
it's
touched
definitely
it from the
how
explore
long. It's
page.
also how long you're letting it play, how long you're letting it do. Especially like if it loop a few times or whatever. Like say you just put your phone down and then you let the video play. The algorithm is gonna pick up that you like that. Something that I will say though, because I saw this on either X or LinkedIn. Someone was talking about recalibrating and refreshing their timeline, and one of the suggestions was anything that you really don't want to see, click the little ellipses in the top, the little three buttons, just hit show less or, I don't like it. It's options for you to do that. And I think
Hmm.
that that's really,
That help
really
you train
important
your
to say.
algorithm better.
Yes, train your algorithm, train your mind for what you want to see, train your life for what you want to see. Because it's real easy for us to get caught up in a lot of BS really, really
Well,
easily.
guess what,
Like,
bro? Now we got to put our money where our mouth is, dog.
facts. But I'm even say that
You got to
like
get that explore page cleaned
that's
up,
with anything in life though, bro. Like you could be doing amazing. All it takes is one or two things for you to throw you off track, bro.
bro. Like I swear, I talk about that with working out all the time, right? You know, whenever you're on your fitness journey, and sure many people can relate to this because this is the reality for most of us, right? We get periods of time where we go really hard and we do really well and we see results and we're consistent. But then all it takes is those one
That
or two
burger tastes
times,
too good.
one
It's
or
too
two times where
seasoned.
you like, oh man, I could skip today.
Mhm.
I don't need to do that right now. Like you said, ooh, that should be too seasoned. I deserve it. I'm gonna do that. But it wouldn't just one day. One day turned to 3 days.
3 days turning to 3 weeks.
Now you
3
ain't been to
weeks
the gym
turning
in
to
2
2
months.
months. Look at that.
It happens. It happens. So
Same
yeah,
thing
man.
with your content though, bro. Like you could be reading, you can be on top of your game. Like it was one point I remember me and you, we turned off our music subscriptions, everything, bro. Like really locked in podcasts, books, audio books. Like I remember one time I made Tanae listen to an audio book from Louisiana to Houston whenever we came out here for my birthday.
I don't know if she was pleased
She
or
was not. She was not pleased, bro. She was pissed.
why you got me listening to a book, nigga?
Think and Grow Rich too.
Cut on some Usher, nigga.
I
What
had
is
her
this you
listening to the
listening
Think and
to?
Grow Rich, nigga, from Lafayette to Houston.
I feel that though, like it's just a different level of locked in, and I think that's something that
And I think the
as we
deeper
get into
word,
the topics on this episode, I think that's something that we should keep in mind
I think the deeper
because
word for that too, David,
what
intentionality.
I like that. Got to be intentional about what you give your focus to, especially like I was saying in this current environment that we're in. You know, it's a lot of turmoil, it's a lot of uncertainty. So it's like it's so easy to get caught up in the noise, the Diddy case, and then you
The
got
AI
Epstein, and
slop,
you got AI slop, and you got
Trump
Love
doing something
Island,
every.
and all this other
Oh, I forgot
bullshit
about
that's
Love
going.
Island.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like all this other shit that people obsess and hyper focus on. When it's like, man, at the end of the day, what really matters, the stuff that like really moves the needle in our life is what we need to be focused on. So we're gonna get into some macro stuff and then relate it to the micro. And
Yes, sir.
it's gonna be a good episode. But man, to get us started, before we get into it, guys, y'all know what we like to ask. We need y'all to give us that 5-star rating and review. It helps us grow the show and continue to reach more people like yourself who want to build wealthy habits and build a
Also,
lifestyle that's reasonable. And you know what I'm saying? What?
I want to add one more thing. Guys, if y'all don't know, we have a YouTube channel. Like our audio listenership extremely eclipses our YouTube channel and viewership. So y'all, if y'all love our audio, check us out on video as well over on YouTube.
Yeah, come, y'all see our picture on the podcast thing.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know we got locks.
Yeah, we handsome.
Look at us.
I mean,
Come
I'm
check us
handsome
out.
for sure. I
YouTube.
don't know
Hey,
about
wait,
David.
hold on, player. Wait a minute now. Don't play on my top. Hey, look. Yeah, y'all, you see it? Goddamn. But yeah, y'all check us out on YouTube. Good addition to that, Jalen,
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. But all right, guys. So to start off today, we actually kind of building on where we are with the conversation about intentionality and focus. We just got a little brief clip. Jalen had wanted to share from an interview. Looked like it was Lil Yachty interviewing Charleston White, and Charleston had some things to say to Lil Yachty. I'm gonna get that pulled up for us.
Also, David, try to move your mic a little bit closer for me, my brother.
All right,
Appreciate you. That's good right there.
let's see this.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool deal. So I'm gonna play the clip.
Saying, homie, most kids don't have resources. How long you been rich, nigga?
8 years.
You've lost touch with reality.
I feel like kids nowadays just got so much more resources and
No,
money.
they don't, homie.
and-
If you look at the starvation statistics in America, more kids will go hungry in America than anywhere in the world. More kids are eating at school than they are at home. I don't know what resources you talking about. More kids have.
Well, I'm just talking about right now in current society. If you look on social media, I'm obviously I'm not in
hold
there.
on. But see, you speaking from social media,
Right, that's all I can
from
speak
the
on.
community, the schools, the kids. I'm not up here with y'all, homie. I'm trying to climb up here. So the thing that I'm saying, I'm bringing from the bottom to y'all up here. You saying, well, homie, most kids don't have resources.
Well, I'm just speaking on
Even on social media,
problems.
because social media is a facade. You never see somebody on social media say, boy, these my last $2 right here. They gonna come show you when they got their 500. You never see nobody on social media say, man, here go the disconnect notice, man. I gotta pay these light bill by Friday. I'm 2 months behind. Social media show you the happy side. But if you look at the real statistics, homie, nah, kids don't have a lot of resources.
That was a bar. I ain't gonna lie. Charleston might be ignorant sometimes, but bro be spitting a lot of times, dog.
Yeah, yeah. Ah,
There
man.
was a part of that clip that wasn't in there where he was actually talking about
That's what I
where
was gonna
the
ask you.
extended.
Kind of
It was an
whenever I see
extended version.
this,
Yeah,
this,
it was an
it
extended
got
version
switched. This
where he
clip got
went in.
switched.
It's okay. Where he went into speaking about the social media side, right? Where people are flexing and flogging. They got these Dior bags. They got these new Louboutins. They got all of these things, right? But whenever they die, you got to start a GoFundMe. Your parents got to have a plate lunch, right? So all of those things, whenever he's talking about social media as a facade, I agree. Because how can you have Lil Man who just got shot up? He flexing on his Instagram. You see he doing the money fan, or he got all of this stuff going
Bro,
out, right? But his people can't even afford to bury him and put him. They can't even afford to cremate the nigga.
son, that's a sad reality that happen all the time, bro. And the money fan spread thing is one that really bothered me because I be looking at dudes taking $500-$600 in 20s and spreading it out on their arm like that's something, bro. Bro, being an adult, growing up, being an adult is realizing that $1,000
Ain't shit.
ain't a lot of money to have, but that shit is a lot of money to owe.
Ooh, wait a minute. Say that again.
It ain't a lot of money to have, but it's a lot of money to owe. When it come time for your like the unfortunate demise, or whenever times get real, like to what he was saying, with people not having resources, when things get real, bro, when it's really that time, do you have those funds? Statistics show no. Almost 65-70% of people in the United States, check to check, half people can't afford $1,000 emergency. We already know whenever we talking about money, black folks already disproportionately advantaged and are
Disadvantage.
typically on the disproportionately disadvantaged, and we always skew toward the lower side of that. So if the average is 50, the average for black folks is probably closer to 60 to 70% of those people
All
are in
living
that
check to
boat,
check.
right? So I agree with the sentiment that most people don't have those resources, right? But with that, I think we have to divorce the idea that social media is a reality. Like for most people, we have to look at it and realize that this is just a tool and people can portray to be whoever they want. We just seen the whole thing. They got a podcaster with a RICO case out here now.
That is crazy. That's
The
wild.
rich and unemployed dude, you know what I'm saying? Like going and giving this aesthetic and putting out this information and creating a brand. You can create a brand and be whoever you want to be on social media without much repercussion or challenge, or I mean not challenge. You're gonna have to work for it, right? You're gonna have to go through and be creative. And I'm not trying to take away from anybody who's built a brand successfully. I know what it takes. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes laser focus. But you can do that to the detriment of others. And that's what I see a lot of times just with how our culture uses social media. It's too the I see some changes now, but for the most part, it's all about enhancing the life of the one, like using the rich and unemployed dude, right? You using it as the under the guise like I'm giving you game and plays on how to, get rich, but you committing fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like you're providing and showing people how to commit fraud. And yeah, it works in the interim, but the consequence, that's a detriment to the community now. You showing
Another
people, you leading them on dummy missions. You showing them how to go the wrong way.
facts. So there's 2 points that I want to talk about. So another example of the facade of being on social media, and this is very recently that came about. the Dr. Bryant lady. She was recently on Paul Pierce's podcast, right? I don't, you know who I'm
I'm
talking
not
about?
familiar. I'm not
The
familiar.
relationship lady. She was on Cam Newton's show, and she was getting on Cam Newton ass about him and Watch Jazzy, like kids and everything like that. So she's a relationship coach, right? She's a
Yeah, I'm
relationship
listening.
coach. She tells ladies about, this is what you should do. This is how you can get a man and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But she showed up on Paul Pierce's show, right? And Paul Pierce actually started pressing her. He's like, we always hear you talking about, what people should do, but what's your life really like?
Ooh.
And then he started getting into it. He's like, so, are you single? Are you with somebody? She's like, no, I got companions. Then she was like, I got companions. She's like, yeah, me and this dude been going back and forth for 5 years. Paul Pierce was like, oh, so y'all just screwing. I'm trying not to curse, by the way. So he's just like, so y'all just screwing, but he said it in a vulgar manner.
Yeah.
And basically was just really trying to get down to the bottom. And she was like, no. So as they kept on going, she was like, he's got issues. I got commitment issues. He wants to be with me. And then he doesn't want to be with me. And he's like, nah, I know you. You from Long Beach. I know how you get down. You just want some good meat. And she's like, well, I am not.
Paul
She said,
Pierce is out of pocket,
she said,
bro.
I am not vitamin D deficient, is what she said.
Ah, ah,
So I said all of
ah.
that to say
But so
she's
whenever she
someone.
giving these women advice, is she giving them advice like, "Yo, this how you be a wife," or is this how you get men?
I
Because
ain't gonna
that's
lie.
also, like
That part I don't know. That part I don't know.
but I get to the point with what you bringing it up with, right? It speaks to the same idea and sentiment
Mhm.
of putting too much into social media in terms of like believing everything you see.
Mhm.
Because everything on its appearances is not what it always is, and we just can't allow that to warp the real reality and make that play out and let that play out in our real lives and reflect in our financial habits. Because
Facts.
I think that's where we really see it the most with that whole I cited earlier, 60+% of people check to check. Social media plays a huge factor in that. I've been saying it.
Check your
I,
screen time.
Everybody been in Chicago this summer. Everybody I know going to Chicago this summer. Niggas ain't never
Everybody
want
gonna
to go
see
to Chicago.
Beyonce, nigga. You know how many people I seen in Atlanta this past week
Well, okay,
just to
so
go see
my little
Beyonce?
sister was out there. She told me,
Your little sister was also in Chicago, nigga.
yeah, I know. This is what I'm saying. But she not the only one. It's a bunch of people I know. Like it's the fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of not being a part of things. And again, this is not saying don't enjoy your life. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
I'm
just about
saying?
to say that's not saying you can't have fun.
Because as long as you properly allocate and budget for it, I'm not knocking nobody. But whenever you get to the point where your desires outmatch your actual income, that's whenever you get on a slippery slope, that lifestyle creep. Whenever you start seeing
Whenever your
such and such,
desires outmatch your abilities.
man, it made me think about my little cousin years ago. We was having a conversation because he was working a job, and she's like, "Man, my coworkers doing this and going on vacations and doing all that." And I'm
Nigga,
like,
we
"Bro,
make the same amount of money.
we make the same amount. How can they afford that?" And I told him, "Cuz they can't." That's the God's honest truth that nobody wants to admit. That shit Charleston White was talking about. They can't afford it, but people will go and say, I deserve it. So I'm gonna do it, even though it's gonna put me in a worse situation than where I'm already at. And the book I was listening to again, I'm just gonna bring it up. Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. It was a quote that they had in there. It's like, it's funny how it works. Is that people who stay broke always spending money and they never have money. They get money and they
Sheesh.
don't realize that they stay broke because you always spending. You, in order to build, you have to save and invest. And you have to find a balance in that because we holistic creatures, right? We can't
Mm-hmm.
just sit here and say save every one of your dollars. Because okay, bringing back to whenever we were talking about laser focus earlier, right? In our younger days, me and Jalen, we were so focused that we was like, bro, we ain't listening to no music. I don't want no entertainment. If it ain't nothing, like that type of laser focus is a double-edged sword because it makes you less well-rounded. Like you think of life as a skill tree. You building up one skill and one skill only, and you kind of letting everything else just sit where it is. So it's like you got to find a balance in it, right? You can't just deprive yourself of every joy, because how that ends up happening is you relapsing and going back the opposite way, like with the workout situation. You went 6 months, you did good, no burgers, ate that good old Whataburger. Now look at you. You done put 20 pounds back on. I'm talking about me, nigga. Yep. I'm talking to myself right now. Yeah, I'm talking to somebody in the audience too. Yeah. We have to be mindful is going to be the word. I think going back to the word you said earlier, intentionality.
Facts.
Really
And
be intentional with your use of this.
the second point I wanted to make about that video is whenever Charleston was talking about resources and pushing back on Lil Yachty, speaking about people having resources, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who hear that and say, you know what? He's actually wrong. Like, all you got to do is Google. All you got to do is hop on Google. Or all you have to do is look up what you want. The thing that he was also saying is, how do you know what to look up if you don't know? How do you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what's out there if you've never been exposed to it. And the thing that he was saying is a lot of these kids are growing up in environments where they don't have a mom, they don't have a dad. They're being fostered by the street, or they're being fostered by a gang who's showing them how to do these other things, and they don't actually have resources, because the resources that they have is, oh, my resource is, let me show you how to take these drugs and flip
Your
it.
resources toe up.
Yes.
Your resources is a bad example. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and I can see that as well. You know what I'm saying? Your environment definitely plays a large part. I do think there's a whole, nature versus nurture thing. But again, when it comes to the whole conversation with it, with social media too, I think we have like a kind of confirmation bias with it, because we see a few people doing well that came from relatively obscure beginnings. And then you say anybody could do it, because that's the American dream. The American dream is, you work hard, you pull it up by your
which
bootstraps.
I think you
And
have to have that if you want to
you have
succeed.
to have that if you want to be successful, right? There has to be a certain level of delusion or disconnect from your current reality to dream and want to be something.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you don't have the resources around you to even push you to think in that way, that's the people I believe he's referring to.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reality for a lot of people in those statistics. So the only thing I think we could do is continue, like, as a culture, to push conversations about this, having conversations with people younger than us. I know every time I talk to little cousins or anybody, it's like conversations about money, bro. Like, I'm not about to do you like they did me, talking about nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Asking me
I don't want
asking
to
me
tell you
about
about
some
all the
bull.
holes I didn't smash. I don't want to tell you about all of these other. Let's talk about some substance.
All the fun I had at parties. We could talk
Yeah.
about that stuff too, bro. But we're gonna have some substantive conversations too. We need to have substance in our interactions with the younger generations, so that we don't continue the negative trend of
Yeah.
black wealth.
Each one teach one.
Facts.
Yes, sir. Well, that was a good little intro, brother. You want to get into our first main topic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bitcoin bulls, where you at? 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 Ooh, let's get it, man. I'm happy, dog. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? Look. You know what it is, guys. We've been talking about the Bitcoin on this show since the inception of it, right? So if you're listening, you should be invested. You should have, been doing some things. And recently, Bitcoin, the reserve currency of cryptocurrency, as I like to coin it, has crossed a new all-time high, off the heels of this week. So this week in the United States is officially been dubbed Crypto Week. Congressional Republicans have dubbed this week Crypto Week in an effort to introduce 3 new bills, right? And with the hype and news around that, it's been positive sentiment in the crypto market, and we've seen Bitcoin reach a new all-time high. I want to say it peaked out
I
somewhere
got you.
around 123. You got the exact number?
Actually, yeah, I got the exact number. So Monday at 8 a.m., it peaked out at 122,547.40 cents.
Okay, and that is from which site?
I just Googled, and this is Google.
Got you. I was
This is
wondering
just,
because
yeah.
sometimes Bitcoin gets different price quotes.
I
I
can
know
go
when
to
I was looking.
CoinGecko. I always go to
Yeah.
CoinGecko. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's like my crypto.
Yeah, I'm a trading view guy. So
I can tell you what CoinGecko tells me in a second.
okay, yeah, but Bitcoin is reaching new all-time highs. Recently, after hitting that new all-time high, once Jalen gets us that number, it
So
has slid down. Okay,
CoinGecko says in the past 7 days, all time high is at 122,780.
so a little higher than the number Google gave you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and also probably rounded some numbers, but still, right? So we right under 123, between 122, 120.
We ain't
250
gotta
and
be
123.
semantics, man. Let's
Yeah.
round. Let's
You know what
round
I'm
this
saying?
shit, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, either way. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. And now that motherfucker, it dipped a little bit, but it is because of the positive investor sentiment with a lot of the things that are going on with Bitcoin. So I
Mhm.
did mention just a little bit earlier that Congress planned on introducing 3 bills. So I want to get into those things a little bit. We did want to reference one. I think I may have referenced it last week, the Genius Act, which is known as the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. So
So
this,
I actually have this article pulled up, bro. If you want me to read the article real quick.
go ahead, my
Yeah,
brother. Do the
let me pull up this.
knowledge.
Let me pull up this article just so y'all can see where we got this info from. Okay, cool. So this is from coindesk.com. House gears up for crypto market structure vote on Wednesday. Stable coins Thursday. The Clarity Act is set for a Wednesday afternoon vote in the U.S. House, according to industry lobbyists, and the Genius Act may get a Thursday morning vote. So, what we know, the tentative schedule for Crypto Week in the U.S. House of Representatives could see a Wednesday vote on the Clarity Act and a Thursday morning vote on the Genius Act, according to the industry insiders tracking the action. Sorry. The congressional action is expected to push crypto legislation to unprecedented heights in the U.S. as the industry finds greater traction with lawmakers. If the stablecoin rules and Genius Acts pass, the bill could soon become the first major crypto law in the U.S.
So hold on, pause there, right? Real quick. So multiple acts being introduced by Congress.
It's
Quick
really 3
sidebar.
of them that they're trying to get
Yeah,
passed.
multiple of them, but wild to think how far crypto has come. Before we get it, like crypto went from being this
The redheaded stepchild.
this red-headed stepchild is fake, nobody believes in it, to now the world's largest governments are actively and working hard to learn how to regulate, control, and partake in this ecosystem. Just
Hmm.
bizarre where we are in terms of the adoption curve. I think we've definitely gotten out of that early adopter phase, and we're now into like that active. What was the second part right after early adopter?
It's not mass adoption. Because mass adoption is middle. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Why are you looking it up? Because I know you're looking it up. I'm gonna continue to read a little bit more. The U.S. House of Representatives' so-called Crypto Week is steaming towards midweek votes on 2 foundational pieces of legislation that would push the industry status forward significantly in the U.S., including what amounts to a final congressional act on regulating stablecoins. You found what you needed?
Yeah. So
Okay.
early majority. So the curve goes
Early
the
adopters,
innovators no, we're the early
innovation.
majority is
Yeah,
where we are. So this is where I'm the innovation curve, right? Just going
gotcha.
back to that, just to give a brief explanation for anyone that was interested. It starts out with the innovators. That's the first, 0.5%. Then you got the early adopters, which is the first 20% of people. Then you got your early majority, which will bring you up to around a little over half of the people. Then you got the
Mass adoption, right?
late majority, and then the laggards. That's
Gotcha.
at where mass adoption has already occurred. So after the early majority, that's whenever we peak. That's when we hit mass adoption. Then you got the lates and the laggards. But yeah, please continue,
Gotcha.
my brother.
Bet. While the last necessary vote on the stablecoin bill, known as Guiding and Establishing National Innovation
The
for
Genius Act.
U.S. Stablecoins, aka the Genius Act, speak before I continue. The niggas that be naming this shit crazy to me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
who figured out? Okay, we're gonna
They had
use
a
all of
whole
these
committee.
words
No, they had a committee of niggas that sat around a table for hours.
for hours.
And
Yeah.
said,
How can we
"That's
get all
it.
of these
That's
words
the
and
shit
make it
right
say
there.
genius?
That's the one right there, nigga.
That's where our
Genius Act.
taxpayers' dollars go.
Hard at work, my boy.
I'll tell you.
For acronyms.
But bad. Genius Act would send it to President Donald Trump desk to be signed into law. It's the bigger bill, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, that is the top concern of the crypto industry. That legislation to establish a regulatory framework for U.S. crypto activity is expected to come up late afternoon on Wednesday for its floor vote. Industry lobbyists have been advised, which would send the Clarity Act over to the Senate for its consideration. The House has made it that far before on a market structure bill for digital assets, but the Senate was immobile on the issues during the previous congressional
So,
session.
I'm be honest with you. I just want to know what's in them.
So what's in the actual things? I'll go
Yeah.
through it. So let's find that section. The Clarity Act is widely expected to pass with a heavily bipartisan vote. Its predecessor, the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, that's still not giving me what's actually in it. Okay, so for sure the Genius Act, right? On Thursday, the Genius Act, the bill is to set up the guardrail for issuers of stablecoins, such as Circle's USDC and Tether's USDT. That bill already passed the Senate with a wide bipartisan approval, and House lawmakers agreed to take it as it is, meaning its course would finish soon on Trump's desk if it clears the last legislative step. That doesn't really tell you all what's in it. Actually, it really doesn't tell you what's all in it. I just
Yeah.
know for sure the Genius Act is going to be explained. The Genius Act is going to tell you and regulate stable coins, right? And then the Clarity Act, that one they actually don't expect that one to pass this week. From another article that I read, they're expecting that to actually probably maybe pass towards the end of the year. They think they'll get struck
Just
down.
because it's a bigger
Yeah.
bill of the two,
Yeah,
it's
they
gonna
think
take
they'll
more
get
time.
it'll get struck down once it gets to the House, if it make it to the House. And then so that one will establish more on just digital assets, right? Outlining what it is, how the SEC can operate with it. Because I think at the beginning of the year, we actually spoke about that they talked about coins. They established that meme
Not being
coins
an
are
actual security.
collectibles
Yeah.
and everything like that, right? So now what they're going to do with the Clarity Act is clarify what
Yeah.
these
They're
crypto
actually going
coins
to put into
law.
law regulations around crypto, which that goes back to that whole conversation whenever we were on a little sidebar earlier, bro. Like, it's crazy to see where we are with crypto now, to where in this last election cycle we've seen a lot of lobbying from crypto bros and a lot of crypto bros, engaging in politics and donating money to both sides of the campaign to get this pushed into law. And the Clarity Act, to me, like, I see how it's done. Like, first we had the little meme coin thing, right? That was like a breadcrumb. Then now we got the Genius Act, which is really just basically all that's gonna mandate is making stable coins stay true to what they said they're supposed to be doing, which is being a stable coin that is backed 1-to-1 with an asset that is of equal value to whatever amount of stable coins they're distributing, right? Because all
I'm
it
glad you
is a
said that.
tokenized asset. It's
I'm
just a
glad you said
tokenized
that
asset.
because I want to go through the four types of stable coins, like the four classification of stable coins.
Okay.
So you have, yes, sir.
Yeah, before we get to that, I just want to finish with
The
the
last
other.
bill.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and then the Digital Market Asset Clarity Act, right? So that's the big one, right? You get the breadcrumb, then you get the teaser, right? Hey, we're gonna make y'all hold true to what y'all do, but this last one, that's when they gonna change the
well,
rules.
that's really not the last one because there's one more. The
Well,
third one,
they don't want to have a central bank digital
yeah.
currency. That's really all that is, and that the United States has been pretty much against that from the rip. Most, I think, Jamie Dimon and he's the CEO of J.P. Morgan. Jay Powell, most people, major financial players in the United States aren't with the central bank digital currencies. So that one's not so surprising to me. That's just kind of saying, we're not going to do this. But this Digital Market Asset Clarity Act, that to me is whenever they're going to change a lot of the rules of crypto. That's why it's going to take long. I think the way we interact with crypto and the way that people fundamentally invest crypto will be affected significantly. And I wonder if there's going to be a crackdown of the DeFi markets, those markets that do not and are not tracked by KYC and
Mhm.
AML laws, because there is still that aspect of crypto, right? Where you don't have to be on Coinbase. You don't have to go to one of these regulated brokers. Is that going to be something that's a part of the Digital Market Asset Clarity Act? To me,
I
I
think so.
think I think so. I think they're going to try to minimize all people who aren't playing
Oh no,
the
yeah.
game of Washington.
Yeah, for sure. I think with that, like you said, the DeFi, they're definitely going to crack down on like the liquidity, the loans, and all of those things that definitely come out through that. And the DEXs, where, the decentralized exchanges, where you're not actually being tracked, which is interesting because I saw actually KuCoin is actually charging people now. If you are not KYC, they're actually charging you. They're charging you what's called like a reserve fee or some type of utilization fee for actually not being verified on their platform.
Interesting. I wonder, like, for platforms like KuCoin, that's gonna probably be a regulatory nightmare
Hmm.
because
But I think
how,
they're trying to get ahead of it now, though,
yeah.
because that's why they're cracking down on that.
So like helping identify, hey, if
It's
we've been
called
charging you this
a
fee at
dormancy
one
fee.
point,
It's called a
yeah,
dormancy fee, is what they called it.
I got an email about that shit.
I got the email too. That's how I know about it.
Yeah, okay. I didn't read the email. I
Yeah,
appreciate you saying
I read it. I read it.
that. I was like, what the hell they talking about a dormancy fee? I ain't got no damn money in KuCoin.
Yeah,
I just got some
that's why I
crypto
wasn't
dust in
tripping.
there.
But I read the email. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So yeah,
Yeah.
anybody who's not KYC on KuCoin, they're charging a dormancy fee.
And quick for people, we're giving out the abbreviations. KYC, know your customer, rules, banking laws, AML, anti-money laundering. These are just rules that make banks have to request the information that you have to give all of them, your social, address, name,
ID
ID, all that stuff, to make sure that they can track you if you're doing some BS.
facts,
That's
facts.
it. But man, I want to get into these stable coins, right? Because that is a very valid distinction that we need to make, right?
Right.
Because the Genius Act, I don't think it's a bad thing and a bad start. And I really hope that I'm wrong about my prediction and how I feel about the Clarity Act.
Hmm.
But this stablecoin act, I think, can be very beneficial because we've seen nightmares with stablecoins. Wasn't Luna supposed to be a
Yes.
stablecoin? Yeah, Terra Luna, that went horrible because they were doing a bunch of financial wizardry in the background and staking assets with other assets that it was a house of cards. And when it all came tumbling down, it came to realize that there really wasn't anything back in this one to one. So I think a regulatory framework in place to protect people
Hmm.
is good, but then there's like the ones like the regular stable coins like USDC. There haven't been an issue with it. So I wonder what's the regulatory gonna do,
Interesting. Probably will request to look into their books more to make sure that they do have the reserves and the assets that they say that's backing it, back in the market cap and all of those
Mhm.
things is what I can think of is what that would do, because you want to be able to look into these entities and see what's going on if they're using those stable coins. And speaking of that, so I'll get into the four different type of stable coins, right? Four different type of stable coins are fiat backed, crypto backed, commodity backed, and algorithmic stable coins. So now I just gave you those. You might be saying, what the hell is a freaking stable coin, right? So a stable coin is a tokenized coin, but stable coins don't fluctuate like Bitcoin. They don't fluctuate like Ethereum, Solana, or whatever, right? It's literally what the name implies. It's stable. It stays at a set price, which is typically $1. Stable coins typically stay at $1. USDC is $1. USDT is $1, right?
Always
So
gonna be a dollar,
yeah,
never gonna go up, never gonna go down.
facts. So that's literally all a stable coin is. It's a crypto asset or a crypto token that is 1-to-1 to $1. And you might say, okay, well, what's the point of a stable coin? Which I will get into, right? Stable coins, they're designed as tools for faster, cheaper, more efficient ways to actually transact with money,
Mhm.
because they're built on top of blockchains, which actually process in real time instead of the Swift system, which the banking system
The
is set
global
up
banking
on.
system, yeah.
Yeah. So stable coins can process and they can transact much faster than the traditional banking system. The other thing with stable coins is the boundaries or the geopolitical use of stable coins is the exchange. You don't have to go through an exchange rate. You don't have to do all of those type of things. You can literally just use that stable coin and go from, hey, I'm purchasing
I,
here. I'm
I, I
gonna
bought the
purchase that.
stable coins with US dollars,
Yeah,
transferred you the stable coins, and then you exchange the stable coins for whatever your
exactly.
local currency denomination is.
Exactly.
And definitely one of the big things, like you just mentioned, is that cutting down on the time frame.
Hmm.
I actually, in researching for the pod earlier, I learned we mentioned briefly central bank digital currencies and how the U.S. doesn't want to do one. Well, there's like 139 countries in the world that have either started using it or plan to use them, and
I know one of the
the
big ones is the
UAE,
EU.
yeah, the
EU too.
UAE, the Arab
Hmm.
Emirates, they actually did one of the first CBDC exchanges with, I want to say, Brazil, and they sent money to either Brazil or China. It was one of the BRICS countries, and they sent them a wire transfer basically in 10 minutes time. Stuff that, me and you were having this conversation
Yeah,
the
I
other
was
day
talking
about
last
the
night.
banking system.
I
Yeah,
was just
like,
like, why is the
why does
banking
it take so
system
long?
so clunky and so, yeah, why it takes so long? Like, if you check out your banking, if you open up your banking app, if you use your card today, 9 times out of 10, that transaction is going to say that it's pending and it actually hasn't been processed.
Yeah,
Everybody who's used a bank app, that's probably not going to process to 2 or 3 days later. That's how sometimes you can think you have one amount in your account. You didn't use your card for 3 days. You come back and your balance is lower.
facts, facts. Sometimes they don't post, so it kind of circumvents that though. That's
Hmm.
one of the use cases for stable coins, is that instead of having to go through this long clearinghouse system, the transaction is done and it's recorded in a digital ledger for anybody to be able to see, without putting your personal
Transparency.
credentials on there.
Yes, sir.
Just your block address or your
So
wallet address.
I'm glad you said that. I guess now I want to get into the differences between the stablecoin and the CBDCs, the central
Hmm.
bank coins. So these four differences between those two, right? So stable coins are actually private entity issues. So that is one issue that major governments have because they don't have that control and it's issued by a private entity. Some of them don't trust that, right? versus the central bank digital currency that's publicly issued. It's issued by the state. The purpose, once again, stablecoins are designed as tools for faster, cheaper, and more efficient transaction times, where central bank digital currencies support public policies like monetary sovereignty. Then you also have transparency. So stable coins operate on a public blockchain with a higher degree of transparency, like David
Mm-hmm.
just said. If you know whatever wallet was the one that either initiated the transaction to send it or was the receiver, you can go in, you can go see all of the transactions that happen, so you can actually track it. With the CBDC, it's fully, so both of them are, well, it's publicly transparent. The CBDC is fully traceable by the government. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody won't have access to that ledger, but the government will, which we give them visibility into financial activity, which is their thing is, oh, this is for us to reduce money laundering, tax evasion, and so on, right? But one of the other concerns with that is that the government can actually control what you're spending your money on, how you're spending your money on, how much money you're spending, right? And then the last distinction between the two is accessibility. Stable coins are available globally and they have less restrictions, whereas central bank digital currencies, they're used within a specific country and there are more oversight, such as identity checks and usage limits with those.
Sound like to me, basically the CBDC, the Feds watching.
Oh
They
yeah,
they 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 basically they taking their dollars and making them a lot more trackable, even more trackable than what they were without a
currently.
blockchain ledger.
Yeah.
And with AML, KYC, if they apply that to blockchain, now they know this wallet address yours. The whole
Mm-hmm.
point of crypto was so that they didn't know what wallet address was yours. And you can still do that with stable coins, right? That to your point, that's why they're more
Well,
flexible and
do you think that
encourage
was a
entrepreneurs.
point of crypto that they didn't want people to know their wallet address? Because I
Yeah,
don't think it was.
I'm telling you, it was when we were in the heyday of the early
Well,
crypto
why would they make it
fanaticism.
transparent to where everybody can see the
But
wallet?
it
Because
doesn't have
everybody
any
knows
personally identifiable information on it.
but everybody knows who Satoshi's
They know the
wallet's
wallet
address is.
address because it
Hmm.
was the first wallet address. But it's hard. You can't tell me what's Michael Saylor's address unless he told it to us. You
True.
can't tell me my Bitcoin address unless I tell it to you. That's the thing, right? Like it was a level of secrecy to it. And the whole reason it was supposed to be this way is because post 2008, low trust in the global financial banking system. We don't want you niggas in our business no more. Y'all over here doing all this fractional reserve banking and leveraging my money to loan out money to a nigga who really ain't got no money to be buying a house, then taking the mortgage and then packaging them bitches up and selling them to a nigga and everything. This house of cards just fucking crumbles. We don't want y'all in our business no more. We want to do this without you. That was the original ethos of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency movement. And now it's been co-opted and taken, and it's I I think it's still a very valuable and useful tool, but I do not. I'm kind of glad the United States isn't doing a CBDC.
Me too.
They already track our money enough, bro.
Yeah.
The IRS know what's going on. I promise you, the IRS know what's going on, unless you deal strictly in cash. That
Which I don't think it's too many people like that no
There's
more.
not too many people like that, right? The IRS, if you did a Cash App transaction, because they put in laws now. Think usually it used to be like anything under $600 received from somebody you didn't have to pay taxes on. Now
Which
you
is
gotta.
they haven't changed that part.
They
They
haven't
wanted
changed
to
it yet.
change.
I
They
remember they was
wanted
trying
to
to change
change
it,
it. They wanted to, but they reneged on it.
but I'm sure that at one point or another they're gonna circle back and start taxing the income from friends and family you receive from Zelle and Cash App at one point or another.
yeah,
Like,
that's what they were trying to do for sure.
yeah, they're gonna spin the block. They
Yeah,
always do. They always do. And they
which
go
I
spin the
really
block
hope they
whenever we
don't.
distracted.
I really hope that they don't.
But um yeah, the stable coin situation, man, I'm kind of happy about it. You know, y'all know I'm pretty high on stable coins. I was mentioning that that's actually one of the alternative savings vehicles I've been taking advantage of as like a high yield savings account, quote unquote. USDC is the coin that I've been using on Coinbase. It pays a yield of like 4.2% or something like that annually. Modest returns, nothing like the stock market, right? But it is a stable coin. That is the intention and purpose, and it is just another way again to hedge your money and make sure that you are beating and outpacing inflation so that you're not losing wealth every day, because we all know if you don't put your money to work, it be losing value.
Facts. Facts. So something that I did want to ask you, because I know you leave your money in USDC on Coinbase. Do you remember maybe like a year or two ago, whenever Coinbase was worried about going insolvent or something like that?
I do
And
recall that.
so one of the things that a lot of people was putting up was on Coinbase website, it says anything that is held on the exchange, if they were to go insolvent, it will be captured by them, right? So like you would like, and if you didn't get your money out in time, good luck, Charlie.
They say that, but then let's look at the FTX situation, where there still was some type of recourse and you could have gotten some money back if you'd taken part in that class action lawsuit. Anytime if some financial mismanagement is at foot, then I can see the government stepping in.
Mhm.
But if it's just a huge market downturn, we it might sorry, Charlie.
Yeah.
Like you should have got out.
That was
Yeah,
just something I thought about,
yeah.
especially if anyone is thinking about taking that route to use it as like a high yield savings account. Definitely look into Coinbase's their
Yeah,
user.
but that's why I said it even whenever I brought it up as an alternative savings method. Crypto is still considered a risky reserve asset by all means of the name. Yes, we are getting to the point where we're in the early majority of adoption of it, but we're still not at that mass adoption and safe point for it. Crypto is the market is still maturing, and there's still going to be growing pains. So don't do it if you're not comfortable with the risk. But for me personally, I don't see USDC going anywhere with the evidence that I have presented to me.
Mhm. I got
The
you.
only way I could foresee that happening, in my opinion, is if the whole crypto system crashes. Like the whole Bitcoin, everything goes to zero. And that would be a tall order.
Shit, because now once again, Bitcoin is actually the fifth largest asset in the world
Crazy.
by market cap.
Crazy.
Which even more crazier to me,
But
the assets that were right above it
mhm.
is crazy because the market cap of those assets outpace a lot of countries' GDP, bro.
Talk about it real quick. Good.
Hold on, I'm about to tell you because I know Nvidia was one of it.
Oh yeah, Nvidia just became like the first $4 trillion company or something
Yeah.
like that. Crazy. And I know Apple's probably one of them, right? I want to say
I
Apple
think
had like a
Apple's
couple
down right
trillion.
now because so yeah, Apple is. So right now, gold is number one, market
Mm-hmm.
cap 22.3 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Nvidia's number two, 4.1 trillion. Microsoft's number three, 3.7 trillion. Apple's number four, 3.1 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon just jumped back up to Bitcoin because it fell. So Amazon is 2.4 trillion, and Bitcoin is currently sitting at 2.3 trillion. And then guess what? I'm gonna just say this: the top five, the top 10 by market cap. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six of them are American stock companies.
I can definitely believe that. And with that, the number one thing that you said was gold. And that's a good segue into the next topic when we start talking about assets and reserve assets. So what we talking about? Bricks, all white
All
bricks,
white bricks.
yellow
Just
tan
hit a
bricks,
lick. Yeah.
30 volt brick. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
bricks. No, but not really, not those bricks. Shout out Gucci Man. But no, bricks actually recently had their summit. For all those that don't know, BRICS is
That beat was crazy. I'm
yes, it
sorry.
was. Yeah, it was. You can hear it in your head still. Huh? I
I
listened to it the other
can't.
day.
Zaytoven.
Yeah. But no. So BRICS, we've talked about them. You know, they are the predominant global superpower opposing the United States in terms of the reserve currency status currently right now, right?
Mhm.
So BRICS recently had their summit in Brazil 2025, and during this, they reported on and announced their progress on their mission of de-dollarization, right? So what BRICS is plan is right now actually is
Niggas
to
playing
dethrone the
chess.
dollar as the global reserve currency and replace it with the gold standard. So
Which I ain't gonna lie
interesting.
to you. I can kind of get behind
I can kind of get
that.
behind that, but you know, it would have a lot of negative implications for us
For the
as U.S.
US.
citizens. Yes, it would have major implications for us as U.S. citizens, but I do want to get into it, right? So, BRICS is dumping their U.S. debt assets, so like their treasury bills, bonds, notes, those things, in favor of purchasing gold to further their mission of dethroning the U.S. as the global standard for trade and finance. So BRICS is not trying to create their own currency. That's a common misconception. They're not trying to replace the dollar in that sense, but what they're trying to do instead is stop relying on the dollar for trade. So
Mhm.
instead of we mentioned it before with like the petrodollar, right? To trade oil or most commodities, the dollar is the unit of exchange that's agreed upon to do so. Instead of doing trade in dollars, they're doing trade in local currency. So
Explain that.
uh, if a BRICS country is trading with a BRICS country, if Brazil's trading with the United Arab Emirates, they're trading UAE dollars for Brazil dollars. They're not getting the
So now
US
they got to
dollar
do a
involved.
conversion though. They got to do a conversion on
But
it.
that's where gold comes in. So they'll use paper gold as
One to
the I
one.
guess the standard. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
so they also want to create, you mentioned it earlier, an alternative to SWIFT, which is that global banking system.
Which I thought they actually did, because
They have.
whenever
They're,
Russia
they're
first attacked Ukraine, they cut Russia off from SWIFT.
Exactly, right? So that's one of the big things that BRICS is pushing after those sanctions that the US put on Russia, and they froze all the assets. So all the bonds and everything that Russia owned from the United States that they paid for, right? The United States said, "Hey, you know what? Y'all doing some shit we don't like. We're gonna put sanctions on y'all. All y'all assets frozen. All them debt payments, we ain't paying them no more. Y'all ain't getting nothing till y'all get that act right in y'all." You know what I'm saying?
Which
And BRICS is
Trump's
looking
starting to
at
get a little thin with Russia right now too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And BRICS looking at it like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, bro. You bought that, and they ain't gonna give you your bread. We can't let them do us like that. So now they are trying to implement a system that is an alternative to the global banking system, which is SWIFT. SWIFT was, born out of the Bretton Woods Agreement back in after World War II, and that essentially is the United States and UK and what positioned us as the kind of one and
Mhm.
two of the global economic system. So BRICS, they are trying to establish two systems: BRICS Pay, which is for the BRICS countries and BRICS partner countries, and then there is also going to be MBridge, which is one that anyone can use. And MBridge, when I was talking about that CBDC transfer earlier from the UAE to, I want to say it was Brazil,
Mhm.
that was done using MBridge. So that was actually a proof of concept showing that it's a minimum viable product and it can be used. And that transfer was done in 10 minutes. So we're seeing in real time that they're building an alternative to the United States dollar as the reserve currency, right? And this is very interesting because the dollar, as of Q1 of 2025, is having its worst performance in the last 50 years. So the dollar has declined 10.8% against the basket of other currencies. So if you're looking at this is looking at the dollar index, the US dollar index.
Mhm.
It is down 10.8% since the start of 2025. and that's largely due to concerns around tariffs, uh, the aggressive trade policies that we've had, as well as the potential Fed rate cuts. So it's a potential that the Fed may cut rates twice this year. That was what they were kind of signaling in their June meeting. They're meeting again, no, not June, their May meeting. They meet again this month in September and November, I want to say, is when the
This
Fed meets
year.
again. Yes, and it's expected that they cut rates twice, but given everything that's going on, we're not really sure. But that creates uncertainty, right? Because if the Fed cuts rates, that means money's cheaper. That means print more money. Print more money equal more inflation. More inflation equal more debt.
Facts.
So why we want to keep investing in a company in a country that got $36 trillion of debt and half of its tax revenue is going out as debt payments every year? It's only going to continue to get worse. It's like a snake eating its own tail.
Hmm.
So this is actually the lowest value since 73, which I found is very interesting and kind of brings things
I was
full
about to say,
circle. Is
what is that the
the
same?
year that we went off the gold standard.
Hmm.
So dollars at the lowest
Who
strength
was
since
president
we've
at
got
that time too?
Nixon.
These two fuckers.
Yeah, it was Nixon at the time whenever we got off the gold standard. But conversely, right, while this is going on, while we're at a low, more of these countries have been building up their gold reserves, and that's one of the things that BRICS reported on as well, is that they are all stockpiling gold. You look at China over the last 5 or 6 years, they've heavily been selling their U.S. assets in favor of stockpiling gold, and they are actually trying to get into the international physical gold trade. So, little brief backstory on gold. Gold was one of those things that it was like most things in China, finance and trade, primarily handled by the United States of America, right? United States and Britain. 90% of the gold that's traded goes through the United States and Britain, and then you got your other markets everywhere else. Well, China recently opened up their Shanghai market with an offshore account. This is the first time that they've done this. This is the first time they're going to invest outside of China and let people invest in purchase gold from an exchange that is owned by the Chinese government. So they're starting off in Hong Kong, which technically is China, but
Not
for
yeah, it's
the
not really China.
it's its own political state, right?
Mhm.
So they're starting off in Hong Kong, but they have plans to
When you
go
say they're
to all
starting
the
off in Hong Kong, they're starting to allow citizens of Hong Kong to purchase from the exchange.
correct.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be one of the first exchanges that's going to be created, and then in the BRICS partner countries, they have plans to create, you know, Somalia, Mozambique, all these
Mhm.
different countries would have their own BRICS exchange. So it's very, very interesting to see this all occur. Um, and what it really makes me think is with what we got going on at the United States, this BRICS summit, it continues to spell what we've kind of been saying, man. It's gonna continue to get worse, and I don't think that the dollar is gonna reclaim its its super dominance that it had over the last roughly 100 years
Mhm.
of society. Um, One of the things that, in retaliation to this, Trump kind of like threw a fit and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna throw more tariffs on y'all." But as we know, the tariffs, yeah, they do hurt other economies, but
It's
the
mainly
people who
hurting
foot the
us.
bill is gonna be us.
I don't know if you saw that report that came out last week where they were like, "Oh, we've made the most money in tariffs ever in the first few months of the year or whatever."
I bet, nigga.
And I read the comments. Everybody was like, "Yeah, off of the backs of Americans, you lazy son of a."
It's like, bro, come on, like we're it's either we're getting taxed on the back end or on the front end, and the promise was, no income taxes. Well, you're still getting the income taxes, but also now the cost of living is going to be more expensive
Mhm.
because, yeah.
Wait, what you mean the promise was no income tax? That was Trump. Trump said that he was trying to
Man,
eliminate
that
income
was
tax.
one of the campaign promises. Like I want to eliminate income taxes. I don't think we'll need income taxes if we have tariffs, because that was one of the things that was cited often was, the United States didn't have income taxes until a certain year. I want to say it was like probably after the depression, I'm sure, or like around the depression. I don't know exactly. Don't quote me on it, but there wasn't always income taxes. Tariffs used to be the primary thing, but the world is very different. Trade is very different. The scale of our economy is very different. So to think that we can compare an agrarian society to the information technology age that we're in now, it is ludicrous and absurd to me. But
So it looks like income tax, the first federal income tax was established in 1861 to help fund the Civil War. Then it was repealed in 1871. I'm sorry, 1872. So from 1861 to 1862, there was income tax. And then it officially came back in February of 1913. And it's been here since then.
So basically, since they made the Federal Reserve, since World War One, we got involved. Not a coincidence. Not a
At all.
coincidence. And I think honestly that this is all a part of the plan.
2027 is game time. That's all I would say, man.
Yeah, this is all a part of the plan. This is going into plan. We're seeing more and more now. Some of those hot real estate markets are sliding, and things are. I was looking on Zillow last night. There's so many price cuts in DFW.
Real talk.
Price cuts left and right, bro.
Damn.
Price cuts left and right. I'm talking about $1 million listings down to the $200,000 houses. Price cuts.
Wait, from $1 million to boy, I thought you said the $1 million
No, no,
home
no,
was
no, no,
going
no,
for.
no, no, no.
I was about to say, wait a
the,
minute.
no. Like
My
the
bad.
$200,000 houses got marked down. The $1 million houses got
I was
marked
about
down.
to say, baby,
No,
we about
no,
to go back to Dallas.
bro, trust me. If it was that bad, nigga, you would have heard about it by now. I promise you that. Man,
that's
nigga bought a
hilarious.
house like that. Should have been all on Instagram.
I just bought $1 million house for $200,000.
What?
Come with me to tour it. Head ass
Or
people.
on the other side, I bought this house for $1
$1
million
million,
and
and now my
had
shit
to
worth
sell it.
200.
Whew. Sick.
That's
Sickness.
terrible.
But no, like I think it's all a coordinated effort to continue to devalue the dollar across.
And just to weaken the U.S. in general, if you ask me.
Because actually that was one of the arguments that they made as well, like some of the economists in the Trump camp, that weakening the dollar would help strengthen the American economy. There was what was the name of it? The something accord. It was I just was listening to this because they're calling it the Mar-a-Lago Accord is what Trump and them are calling it, but it's an accord, and it was a partnership agreement like with the United States and France and Japan and a few other major nations, where they coordinated with the United States to devalue the dollar against their currency, because when the dollar is valued high, it's like is a good and a bad thing, right? Because your money has more purchasing power, but at the same time, things cost more.
Mhm.
Because we're the countries that we're importing things from, their money isn't worth as much compared to ours. So it's interesting. It's interesting that this is the way that they want to go about this.
I'm
But
gonna have to look further into that part. Whatever you was watching or reading, send that to me. I'm gonna have to look into
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna have to get into that accord.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, BRICS. We're gonna keep y'all posted. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. I think that it's very important that we stay abreast of these types of things. For me, what it has made me do now is think about how can I protect my assets in an environment where we're starting to see the US's global dominance slip, right?
Mhm.
So what I've been thinking of and what I've been focused on now is trying to find emerging markets, get into some emerging markets funds, diversifying into some of the international exchanges. Like if trying to get into some of these strong economies as well, just getting into a few Japanese indexes, a few British indexes, and then also sticking to companies in America that have strong fundamentals and strong international business relationships. So like
Nvidia.
those top ones that Jalen just mentioned, right? They all do business across the world. It's not just here, right? Your Nvidias, your Apples, the Amazons, Microsofts. These are global tech giants. They're not going anywhere.
Speaking of Nvidia, they actually got the green light to start selling their
Yes,
A2
they
chips
did. I seen
back
that. I
to
heard that this
China.
morning.
Yeah, back to China. So once again, the globalization being access to global economies. Something I did want to ask you though. You're saying you're getting exposure to these international exchanges. What does that look like? Does that just mean that you have do you have to do like have you done it yet first? Is
No,
what
no, no. I haven't gone through the whole process, but
okay.
I'm just gonna buy Vanguard funds, bro. I'm just emerging market funds.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just asking because the everyday person might be like, "Well, how do I do that?" Right? They might have thought, "Oh, I gotta go get on this China. I gotta go get on this Chinese trading platform or something like that."
Nah, nah, nah. I ain't got that deep into it yet. But if I do have to
But you,
do that,
and
I
when you're
will.
saying Vanguard, you're just buying ETFs that are
Yeah,
more
like buying
based on, yeah.
funds that are based on and things that are listed on American exchanges. I'm not planning on going to other exchanges, but like indexes for foreign countries listed on American exchanges or companies that are extremely well diversified into other nations.
Gotcha.
Other thing, defense stocks. I think I might have missed the boat on Palantir. I'm not sure if I missed the boat on Palantir yet because the growth prospects for that one is pretty ridiculous. They're kind of touting up Palantir as like an open AI type unicorn, except into the whole defense contracting AI space. So um, that's another company that that Nvidia worth hedging bets on over the next few years because there's a lot of investment from government that's going to be going there. So wherever capital flows, opportunity goes. So just make sure you continue
Speaking
to
of
put.
that, I also saw that it was announced today. Pentagon announced that so they have a $1 trillion budget for like emerging tech and everything. Of that $1 trillion
They
budget,
gave 200 mil to
X
OpenAI.
I thought it was XAI.
I think they split it between both of them, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
So yeah,
So OpenAI tech. So 20% of that budget.
went to these niggas. Which majority of side note, majority of that budget is actually going to GovTech.
Yeah, which again makes sense because we're going to need people in these fields. That we talked about this already too. With the next war is not going to be boots on the ground, gun shooting, tooting, rooting, tanks, and all that. I mean, that shit gonna happen, but it's not going to be just on that front. It's going to be a digital war. It's going to be a trade war. It's going to be economic war. It might even get some bio stuff going on in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hope not.
man, listen, hey, we might already be there. You know what I'm saying? We might already be there. But
Damn. I don't want to serious us out too much now.
hey, I'm just
But
saying. But the
you also
implications are heavy. The implications are heavy, but as always, continue to invest your money wisely. Um, it may take you de-risking from some of those smaller things that you might have been investing in, things that aren't as well diversified in other countries, things that are real America focused. You might want to, scale back in some of those things and gear up for the next 10 years, which during the next 10 years, I have a strong feeling that we're going to see,
drastic
the
change.
continuing decline of the dollar while the BRICS countries kind of take over. It's going to be a gradual process. It doesn't happen in one day. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. It
Mhm.
ain't going to be the first time the rock is hit. It's going to be the thousandth time. And that's when everyone's going to be like, dang, oh, it already happened.
Mm. Let's invest our money wisely, guys. So,
Indeed, indeed.
speaking of investing our money wisely, this is another great segue. Whenever we first started BWR and started the podcast, we actually spoke about investing in a particular industry that at the time was emerging and we had a lot of hope for. That industry.
Mary Jane.
Why'd you do that, man? That's one of my favorite songs. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. Sorry, y'all. I just fucked y'all ears up. I know that was terrible. But yes, we are talking about the weed industry.
Yes, indeed.
Whenever we first started, the green rush was going on,
It was the height of the green rush.
yeah, the height of the green rush, right? States were legalizing weed. People were saying, this is about to be the next biggest industry. This is going to take place of big tobacco, the
It's
big
gonna hurt the profits
alcohol.
of big
Yeah,
alcohol. Yeah,
all
all
of
that.
these type of things, right? Well, we're here to report that sadly, that did not pan out due to a few reasons, right? One of the biggest reasons was they were really banking on federal legalization of weed, which never panned out. Lobbyists were trying to get that done, but it never panned out. A lot of states are actually starting to retract on their actual, stance on legalization of weed. One of them being Texas, which actually Governor Abbott did reject the bill and vetoed the bill instead of actually passing it for, I forgot what the particulars was, but he rejected it. So I want to play a short video just kind of talking about the current state of where the weed market is, and then we'll
Where's the weed?
this guy.
You got to stay off the weed. The weed. Nah, man, but while Jalen get that clip pulled up, the weed investment stuff was crazy. That was a crazy roller coaster, bro. Like niggas thought they was about to be up. And let me
Boy,
tell you something.
nigga,
Let me
I
tell you
lost.
something.
I sold whenever my shit was like 60% down. I said, man, I'm done with this shit.
Bro, you know how long I held that shit?
Too damn long.
I held weed stocks probably until mid 2020. And
Probably the same for me too.
I had bought Chronos Group probably like in 2018. Chronos and Tilray. Then they went up for a good while, right? This is an immature investor. Um, Height of the green rush, a lot of positive investor sentiment. But to what Jalen said earlier,
You
whenever
bought the
that
news.
national legalization didn't happen, man, that shit crashed and it never recovered.
You bought the news.
I definitely bought the news.
I will get into Tilray and Kronos as well. The first thing that I want to do, I want to play this video. So
Jay drives to Airbus 4 stores to make sure everything's running smoothly.
How you doing? All right, how are you? Good, good. No complaints. Good to hear. After you. There you go.
But he knows that once the 420 rush is over, the industry will slip back into the slump it's been in for the last 3 years.
It was very lucrative during the green rush. Today it's tight. It's a very dysfunctional industry. You're seeing cultivators turn their licenses back in. 4 years ago, it was $3,500 a pound, for good quality weed. Today it's $500 a pound. It costs them more to grow than it's worth.
Growers have certainly been hit the hardest. Over 7,500 have gone out of business in the past 5 years, leaving just 4,000 licensed cultivators in the state. In percentages, that means that over 6 out of every 10 growers have gone out of business. What happens upstream flows downstream. 1 out of every 2 distributors and nearly 4 out of every 10 dispensaries have shut down. These numbers only capture the companies that tried to play by the rules. And it's plausible that some of these exits are not true insolvencies, but a return back to doing business in the black market.
In the green rush days, people would come in and they would spend $70, $80 for an eighth. Today they come in and they have 2 questions. What do you have with the highest THC? What do you have with the highest THC and the cheapest price? So it's dumbed all the way down. You have to be able to pivot. A retail license used to be $4 to $5 million. Today, you can pick up a retail license for $250,000. It's dirt cheap. Why? These guys want to get out of the business. It's not fun anymore, and it's not lucrative. And frankly, it's over-regulated by people who don't know what the hell they're regulating. And that causes a bigger problem. It's kind of like a car mechanic wanting to do brain surgery.
Dream.
I think that's
Well,
a
damn,
great
that was
place
a good
for-
bar right there to
Yeah, I
end
think
that
that was
off
a
on.
great place for that ad to come in, bro. So you're right. That was a great bar. Appreciate YouTube for that, man. But as you guys heard some of those numbers, right, from the heights to where it's currently at right now, there's a few different factors that actually contributed to that. So, David, I know I heard you mention Tilray and Chronos Group, right?
Yeah,
The
man.
thing
So
about those two, they actually weren't US based companies.
I
Those
know,
were Canadian based companies. So in Canada, I think they had federally legalized it.
but
And
they
they're
were waiting on U.S. legalization
exactly.
because
So
y'all know we love the trees.
exactly. So these companies, they created these companies and then they became public on US stock exchanges. You were able to trade them. But what happened is once the federal the legalization of the weed didn't hit the federal legalization. I'm sorry, I don't know what the hell my brain just did. It
Whenever
did
they
something
didn't,
weird.
whenever they didn't
Didn't
deregulate
legalize it.
weed,
Yeah,
whenever they didn't make that shit not a Schedule One substance that you can go to jail for, which is fucking stupid,
facts,
dumbass. That's what he meant by saying them car mechanics trying to do brain surgery. Y'all don't even know what y'all talking about.
facts.
Y'all don't even know what y'all talking
So
about sending people to jail for weed.
something else that
Stupid
I
ass
was
niggas, man.
seeing. So throughout that video, right, there's a few things they talked about the over commoditization of weed. Which one? Whenever you over commoditize something, you
Supply and demand.
the sole thing that is driving that is the price, right? It's not really a feature or anything like that that actually differentiates the product. Weed is weed, bro. You either got sativa, indica, or hybrids. Like that's
And
all you
more
got.
than likely, you got hybrids these days.
Exactly. You got hybrids these days because of what people want and everything. I'm not going to get too deep into that rabbit hole. But basically, you over commoditized it, which then drove the price down because now you have so much supply. Whenever the green rush happened, so many people were getting licenses to become a cultivator, to become a grower, to become a retailer, that the markets were just literally. I remember my first time going to Colorado. That was the first place I went where weed was legal.
Me
I
too.
remember going to Colorado.
Good time.
Literally, it's literally on every freaking corner, like two, three. You had
What
more
year did you
weed.
go?
The year we went together, bro.
That was the first time you went. So
That was the
okay,
first
the
time I ever
first
went.
time I went was 2016, and it wasn't as many. So just to kind of give an idea, like how much different it got in those 4 years,
I was about to
it
say, and I
was
went in 2020.
it wasn't as many dispensaries, and the price dropped significantly from the time that we went the first time to then to what the guy was saying in the video. Like the first time we went, you know, we got bottom shelf stuff for $100 zip.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time you go out there, they doing deals. You can get 2 zips for $100
Facts.
of the same type of stuff. Where it's like that proves the point of what you're saying. Like it became saturated, over commoditized. People had to start doing this race to the bottom type tactics. And
Mm-hmm.
really what is created is an unpleasant environment for a lot of those places now. Because the taxes really make it not make sense in a lot of
That's
places
the
too.
part that I wanted to get to, bro.
Yeah, the taxes
So
make it not make sense. For one, the state not even making that much bread off the taxes. That's the crazy part.
so the over commoditization is one point. Then two is the taxation, right? So the way that they're taxing weed and marijuana versus alcohol and big tobacco is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. So the way that they're taxing weed is you have like you know how you have taxes that compound on each other?
Yeah,
There's 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 that type of tax. And after everything is said and done, it comes out to like a 35% tax.
because
Once
you're
once
compounding
once the
8% on
yeah.
7% on
Yes, once the final sale happens, it's a 35% tax. So
So if
what
I
that
bought
means,
$100 worth, I spent
Mhm.
$135.
Yes. And what that means as well is the black market is 35% cheaper because they can take that cut because they don't have to pay those taxes. So now a lot of people, they're going from buying dispensaries, they're going back to the black market. But also with the taxation, California's tax, their tax, I forgot what's the actual name of the tax. It's 19%. It's going from 19%, and they're trying to push it up again at the end of this month. Actually, I think they're trying to go to like 30%, bro. They trying to jump crazy because now they're seeing the revenue drop. So what they're trying to do is, if the revenue's dropping, we're just going to increase the taxes.
And
What
it's
I was about
counterproductive
to say,
because it's gonna just push
it's
the
just going
trend
to
in the
push
other
it down more.
direction.
It's going to push it down
Exactly.
more because why am I going to pay more for some shit I can just get off the streets?
And now, don't get me wrong. When I get it off the street, I gotta deal with an
I was
unreliable
about to say, I
plug.
hate weed, man, bro.
The unreliable plug that nigga hits you back 8 hours. Hey, you still need that?
No,
Hey,
bitch, I'm sleeping.
nobody likes you,
I
my
hate
nigga.
you, nigga.
I just gotta let you know nobody likes that. But if that's the reality that they're creating, and if people, that's where I do see it going. And whenever you were talking about the taxation, I want to say when it comes to marijuana, one of the key distinctions was that only the end user is paying the taxes,
Mhm.
right? With alcohol and tobacco,
The
the
producer,
companies pay a
the
large part of that
manufacturer.
excise tax. The manufacturers pay a large part of
Mhm.
that excise tax. Whereas
That's the name of an excise tax.
yeah, because that's like the I think it's like the sin tax or some shit like that. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know. I forget why it's called excise. If y'all know, somebody educate me. I don't feel like googling right now. Do your googles and let me know. Um, but yeah, that's a key distinction, right? Because whenever it gets passed off to the end user, just like with tariffs, all it does is create a worse user experience, a worse end user livelihood, product, all that shit. And we don't need none of that, man.
Yeah.
But to me, right, what this sounds like is growing pains for that industry. I still do think that legal marijuana is going to be something that we see in our lifetime. What will have to happen though is going to be federal legalization.
Legalization.
It's never gonna be a thing until it's truly federally legalized, like, and they find a better way to tax it. Because like what they're doing in Dallas right now, like Governor Abbott, you just mentioned, he struck down the bill that they were trying to pass to, I think, ban like all the THCA and hemp
Mhm.
products, because they be labeling stuff hemp and
And
it be
THC,
weed, bro.
yeah,
Just call it what it
straight
is. Like
THC.
they putting
Nigga,
all these
I
little
didn't see
letters
so
behind
many. I was about to say I didn't see so many letters behind THC. I'm like, bro, when did we started coming up with all of this shit?
THCZ.
Yeah, I'm like,
Shit,
bro,
put you to bed.
y'all niggas just tripping. Shit more ridiculous than the names of the weed, nigga.
I'm telling you, bro.
Cat
But
piss. Shit.
cheetah piss, hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
Nigga just
man.
making shit up. But nah, man, like
Speaking of
that.
making stuff up, that was something I saw in that video. So I want to talk about like the quality of the marijuana, right? They're also talking about that's taking a hit as well because growers have to do one or two things. They have to make a choice on which plant is going to give me the highest yield, meaning which is going to give me the most flower
Mhm.
versus a good quality product. But the thing is, it's still crops, it's still agriculture. So it's different things that depend on that, right? It's the environment, it's growing, it's all of these things. We know that with marijuana, a lot of this is in controlled environments. It's doing, they have these special lights. They're doing all this hydroponics and everything like that. But sometimes you still can't get the right yields. So with the over commoditization, you're also getting worse qualities of marijuana as well. So now
A race to the bottom.
a race to the
Bottom
bottom.
quality,
hmm
bottom prices,
hmm
bottom everything.
And what a lot of these growers are doing, bro, they're taking some of like the marijuana that's been on the shelf. They're literally renaming the shit and trying to pass it off and resell it.
So like example, they'll
Cheetah
take
piss, they'll rename
they'll
it to
rename it as something that's more popular so
yes,
that people will mess with it. And
yes.
Man, people would call me an irresponsible smoker for this. Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
The only
All
I'll tell
them
you
names
the
and
only
all
thing
that
I
shit.
care about it's one thing I care if it's sativa or indica. I'll tell you for me personally
But
because
everybody cares.
I know how it affects my body, me
But
personally.
bro, everybody cares because sativa, you can get shit done with sativa. But
Exactly.
indica, that shit puts you on the couch, right?
Yeah.
And I
Sleep.
understand what you
Slump.
mean. Like you don't want to be slumped.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is all these little fancy names and all that stuff, man. I don't give a fuck about none of
I
that.
ain't gonna lie. You tell me that's some blue dream, I'm buying that shit. That's the only way you gonna get me.
That was like one of the most popular strands, like I think 2 years ago. Like,
Really, it was popular when I was in college too.
yeah, it was like one of the most popular strands like 2 years
Yeah.
ago or something like that. Blue Dream and Gelato was
Yeah.
hitting at the same time.
That's crazy.
R.I.P. Dolph.
R.I.P. to Dolph, man. For
Oh,
real, for
hey,
real.
real quick though, while we still on this marijuana business conversation, we talked about Chronos real briefly. I just want to paint the picture for people when we talking about the stock of Chronos, right, guys? So, Chronos stock, it initially debuted what this is like 2016, July of 2016 IPO, right? I won't say I heard about 2018. So when I invested in Chronos, it was about $8 a share, right?
Damn.
Pretty good, right? You know what I'm saying? So height of the green rush, it runs up to $21 a share, and this is about 2019. And I think after this is whenever we realize federal legalization.
Look up Tilray's
Well, say I got to
chart.
tell you this. I'll look up Tilray next. But once federal legalization did not occur, this thing fell off a cliff. And I held it to 2020, and by the time I sold, it was back at about $7 a share.
Sheesh. So you
So I
sold
actually
at a
probably
loss, huh?
purchased at closer to $15 or $16 a share.
Damn.
Yeah, because I was at like a 50% loss. But let's look at Tilray.
And then after you get into Tilray, it's one more point that I
These
wanted
niggas
to
at
share.
59 cents. Jesus Christ. Chronos at $2 right now.
What was Tilray's height?
Tilray's height was briefly after the IPO in 2018. It topped out at 146, was the all-time high, and it is currently 59 cents.
That's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous.
A shadow of what I once was.
That's
We
crazy.
don't do the same drugs no
the last
more.
thing that I wanted to talk about is the part that kind of like frustrates me the most is once again how the black community we didn't benefit from this like we thought
Yeah.
we should have, or we know we
No
should have,
equity in
right?
it.
Yeah, we had no equity in it. Two, whenever the federal legalization was supposed to happen, a lot of people were like, well, are you guys going to retroact the sentences for the people, the first time offenders who got caught with marijuana, who got caught, trafficking this and everything like that? My heart still hurts for those people because while it's still on a downturn, you still have people who still out here making money, building $1 million businesses while you got niggas sitting in jail
For minor offenses.
for
For
minor.
having a QP.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. Crazy work.
Yeah. So that was just one last thing that
So
I kinda wanted to talk
honestly, I'm not mad that the legal industry is facing challenges. If they don't do legal nationalization, maybe it will get a little retribution in the fact that these niggas go broke.
about. Facts.
Yeah, I thought y'all was getting rich. Nah, bitch.
Go
Got
broke,
you,
man.
bitch.
That's funny. But yeah, that's all I had on that part. I don't know if you wanted to get into these other two topics. I do want to talk about YouTube.
We can talk about YouTube and we can end there because this is a major win for creators. So we can roll right into the next topic on it. So guys, YouTube, shout out YouTube. We on YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like the video. Subscribe. All that good stuff. Come look at our handsome faces. Like I told you, we got locks and I got a YouTube. Look at my YouTube. That shit clean.
I ain't gonna lie, your shit is clean. I would give you
Hey,
that.
yeah. She did her thing. Shout out my girl Brittany, man. She always be snapping. But yeah. So I'm gonna let you intro it, man.
So basically, YouTube is introduced a major dub for authentic
Creators.
creative. Well, because some people
I
that
don't
create
call them
content,
AI slop nigga
I
creators.
got you. Well, for real creators, right? And the reason why we're saying it is YouTube. Actually, on July 15th, they made changes to their monetization policy, right? And the policy is basically stating that if your if your if your content is primarily made of AI content, AI
Generated.
generated or synthesized content, you're not able to monetize that.
Pack
Get
you
that
up.
shit, yeah, get that shit up out of here. They tired
We
of
don't
AI
want it.
slop. They want to make sure that actual creators who are putting in the time, the sweat equity to provide good quality content is actually being paid and being highlighted. So I just want to say shout out to YouTube for that. I don't have the actual policy change. There was a few things that creators were kind of like wary about. One of them being the faceless automation channels, right? One of those because whenever it was announced, there was language in there that kind of made it seem like those channels wouldn't be able to be monetized either. And then also people who repurpose content, people who maybe like do reaction videos and those type of things. But YouTube did clarify that that wasn't particularly who they were targeting. It's primarily people who are synthesizing using AI. So shout out to YouTube for
Shout out to
doing the
YouTube because
right
yeah,
thing for
I
protecting
support it.
creators, making
Yeah,
sure that real is recognized.
I support it, man. I support it wholeheartedly because the AI slop and generative content, especially, we were having that whole conversation just a week ago about um AI influencers being an existential threat to creators. Well, this is YouTube stepping up and saying, nah, dead that. Like we rocking with real people who coming up with real ideas because again, one of the things that people often lose sight of with AI is yes, it's a great resource and a great tool, but whenever you ask it to create, AI is not a creator inherently. To create, AI borrows, it steals, it takes concepts and ideas from people who really created and put in the work and shared their work online. All this is aggregating information. This is not a some type of genius wizard that just created this out of thin air. Going back to the same example from last time, Timbaland. Timbaland introduced that AI artist, right? The AI artist that was supposed to be so revolutionary and all that shit, right? And the I think he created like an AI beat making program. And the AI beat maker that he made stole beats from a real producer and still had the producer tag on it. Like, what are we talking about? This is not real content. I appreciate YouTube standing behind real creators. I think it's a phenomenal thing that Google and the Google parent company, the Alphabet company, are standing behind actual creators, and I think it will provide a lot of clarity in the marketplace. So that low effort AI stuff's not gonna get it. AI is a tool. I've said it time and time again, and I'll continue to say it. AI is just a tool. AI is just a tool that you should use to amplify and make yourself able to duplicate and replicate what you can do and make yourself better. It is not a creator inherently. It is not going to be your meal ticket alone. You still have to put the work in. AI ain't going to do it all for you. And that's why I fuck with YouTube for it because it put it back in kind of some reality. Whereas there's people that was talking about, the strategy. Hey man, look, DM me for this strategy. I'll sell you this ebook real quick. How to go and use 11 Labs to how to use Chat GPT and 11 Labs to create a
Create.
script and to create a prompt with a video and then use 11 Labs to make the video. It was nonsensical, right? They're just telling bullshit stories and taking other people's content and repurposing it for shorts and then making brain rot content and making hella bank off of it. Ain't going for it no more.
I can't go for that.
I am interested to see how
No.
Snapchat's gonna do that because I did see it looks like Snap and Google are collabing.
Really?
Looks like Snap AI is getting involved with Google. I'm gonna look into that more. I need to look into that more. But yeah, it seemed like something that had popped up the other day. But yeah, man, that's really all I got on that topic, bro. You had anything you wanted to add to it?
Add to it, no. I just wanted to give them a big thumbs up or a big congrats for them taking that stance on AI and kind of slowing down what would be like a creator apocalypse if AI was to take over.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
especially those AI generated videos of you too. I think that's gonna be good because people are gonna just replicate themselves with AI.
facts. So I'm fucking with that, bro. I don't think I really have anything else for to share on this episode. Do you have anything else?
Nah, man. As always, guys, y'all know what I gotta ask of y'all. Y'all make sure y'all leave us that 5-star rating and review, dog. Y'all know we need it. Y'all let me know if y'all thought my retweets was clean. Come subscribe to us
This
on
guy here.
YouTube. Hey, man. Hey, listen. You got to let them know. What Kendrick said. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Here he
But,
go.
but y'all come follow us on the YouTube. Y'all come enjoy the journey with us. I'm thankful and grateful to everybody that's listening to the episode. If you still with us to this point, just know I really do rock with you. And yeah, that's all I got for us.
Yes, sir. Well, look, you know what I'm about to do, man. We about to pray and we about to get up out of here.
Hey, let's
So,
pray and get out the way, man.
yes, sir. Once again, I just want to bow my head. Lord, I come to you humble. I ask that you just give me the words and place it on my heart. Thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to deliver another great podcast. Thank you for giving us the knowledge and the tools to be able to deliver this to people, to be able to research. We ask that everybody that listens to this, they have abundance in their life, abundance mentally, abundance spiritually, abundance through
Wow.
wealth. Bro, chill.
Preach, pastor.
You stop. I'm trying to be serious.
Oh, my bad.
Abundance spiritually, abundance mentally, abundance of the mindset, abundance within their health, abundance within their household. We ask that you just continue to allow us to keep on thriving. We ask that you allow us to keep on reaching our heights and being blessings to others as well. Any wealth that you do give onto us, we ask that we can continue to use it to help bless others as well. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, amen, and amen, my friends. As I always say from his lips to God's ears, y'all
Yes,
stay
sir.
black, stay beautiful, stay wealthy. Until next, this is BWI signing out.
Peace.